Janet, contain will shake and channel you.
Well, Timidin Shaw, mar agriacht pobl, mar Gaeilge an obair a lig a rinne mid charna blinty Acht na Gaeilge. Agus Timidin Shaw le Turas, grúpa ó ortha na carra, mar go greidir muid inis go bhfuil sin éireachta dheanú na sciilteanna I de polaiteoirí a lasú. Agus teachtar bhealach go féidir Acht na Gaeilge ó thortaiste. Fa láthair mar Gaeilge rudí rinne réaltas na Breataine a séar an 2007 is cinneó crowd Spáine tá in san reachtaíochttanga agus sílan muid gur gaithí bogar ar hiúló sin. So bhí me dínta Malta agus sílam go raibh gach duine bhfuil dúil acu in san teanga Malta ag na ráiteasaí a rinne ar na málamh a rinne Gregory Campbell. But ní inné na ahrú inné go hosaí na honsaithe amadeacha sin ar an Gaeilge. Agus sílam an tam seo go bhfuil se is mithid lína harint faoin cenneó sin de righteous. Agus é dheanú níos deacra de réineionsaithe amadeacha dheanú ar a teanga. Agus darlinn an taon bailach amháin le barnta sa chort go méid dearú leis a cinneó sin damage is Acht na Gaeilge ó thortaiste. Agus an teanga thort amach ón saol politeol agus é a chuirteach in san saol réireachán. Cosúil le Gaeilge in Alban, cosúil leis an bhránis in san Bhratanbhag agus teangatha eile I ddéarthaí eile. Caithfear cinneol an cailg a bhaintteach as an ceist agus an searbhas agus de réir bogar hantá is le gach duine an Gaeilge agus sin mar bacódaí bheith.
Martin, I know Sinn Féin have been absolutely focused on the importance of Acht na Gaeilge. I'm sure you've heard it more than once in the last fortnight at the leadership engagement. Acht na Gaeilge incredibly important to the community and our activist base.
Absolutely, and you know, from all of the people who've turned up here this morning, it's quite clear that the word that has been used in relation to the remarks made by a member of the DUP is that people are appalled. At the same time, I think that this has placed a focus on the language, on the importance of the language, and on the reality that the language is now being learned by people right across the community. So, from our perspective in Sinn Féin, it's not about politics, it's about how the language is promoted in a way that people find acceptable right across the community, and we have people from the Unionist tradition who cherish the language. We have people from the Nationalist Republican tradition who cherish the language, and I think all of those people deserve to have the full support of everybody in the Assembly to promote the language in a way that is non-party political.
Linda, contain will shake and channel.
Well, we're here today because we feel it's very important to get across the fact that there's a diverse group within the Irish language. I think there's an insistence within the media to connect the Irish language to only one political viewpoint, and we're saying no, that's not true. You know, within the community there are people from all walks of life and all swathes of thought, and people from the Unionist community as well. Our learners came to me and said, you know, that they're tired of the way they see the Irish language treated disrespectfully within Stormont. You know, this is Stormont that they support their UK citizens, and yet they're being treated, their language is being treated in this way.
And we're always fascinated to hear how well the language is doing in East Belfast. And what do you see as the biggest motivation for people to come to learn?
I think, you know, I think we just had a gap in the market, that people hadn't had the opportunity before. And one thing that I hear again and again, especially from men from the Unionist community, is that they have this impression that they were denied the language. They were denied the language and they were denied their own history. So now that they've got the opportunity, now that it's on their doorstep, they want to get involved.
Carol Jazz Gaeilge, Linda agus Janet agus Gaeilge and channel, can you?
Sin Jazz, going buíochas a hort la scafja a bheith seo aniu. I'm delighted these people are here today. I think it's really important. I'm also delighted that they've met some of the other parties as well, because it really is important that they've got broad party political support. First of all, for people's opposition to the comments from Gregory Campbell and the behaviour of some of the DUP, both in recent past and not too distant past, particularly around the Irish language, but also it is important that we're in discussions. I would like those discussions and would hope those discussions would intensify to the period where we're looking at an Irish Language Act, because Sinn Féin have been the only party who have placed an act at the heart of discussions. Every discussion we've had, we've brought the language and language rights and equality to the centre of those discussions, and I would hope that these people would appeal to other parties to do likewise. And it is important that they come up here and see politicians themselves, tell them how they feel, tell them how offensive these remarks are, tell them what impact it has, not just on people who are Irish speakers, but it's also about someone's sense of identity, and from young and not so young. From people from unionist backgrounds as well. They're here today to say that Gregory Campbell doesn't speak for them, and I think that's very important. Yourself
and the department done great work in recent days, managing ring fence funding for forests in Gaeilge. How important do you see that?
At the minute, we're looking at going back to the position that we had in 2013, the budget position, and in between that, we didn't get agreement, so things didn't move on. The Irish government have reinvested the money back into the language. Well, certainly back in the forest in Gaeilge. I think we all need to do more for the Irish language outside of what we do in the North-South or the All-Ireland arrangements. So I'm delighted to see people like Linda Irvine and people from the East Belfast Mission and other unionists up here today, along with some of the Irish language lobbyists, some of the groups in the community and voluntary sector, some of the Gaeilge who have the same message: the Irish language belongs to us all, and I suppose Indian not go humnan.